everyone, and welcome to another week of This Week in Eorzea. Joining me, as always, is the amazingly talented and my best friend, Pyra. Welcome.
Hello. You're so sweet. I love you so much. You're the
Thanks.
You're the best.
We're here to talk about Final Fantasy XIV news. There's some. We'll get to it in just a second. Thank you everyone for joining. I guess we can just get right into it, right? Like
7-2. I mean, it's like, it feels like one of those weeks that it's less news and more just existing in the world that is 7.2 right now. It's kind of how I've been. I've been so enveloped in the things that have happened. It started happening.
True. Okay, so I guess for our first news item, I can pull it up on the screen. We have an event upcoming on Wednesday, just 2 days from now. Do you wanna talk about it?
Eggs. It's the egg of. No, I'm kidding. I mean, pretty much though. It's Hatching Tide. So it's like Easter, like the non-religious portion of Easter, from April 9th through April 24th. And in pursuit of excellence, I love the puns. I love the egg puns, so I'm not even mad.
There's always lots of those.
Always lots of those. It'll be an old Gridania as normal, and we get this really cute parasol that's kind of like, it just looks like they took the top half of the egg that was the mount several years back, and they just gave it to us in parasol form. So
I'm kind of digging it. Yeah, cute. I think it looks nice. I would go for it. I know a lot of people there was kind of some noise I heard on socials about people wishing there was another mount or costume, but you know what? My parasol comes out every time it rains, whether I like it or not. So
right?
As well have a really nice looking one. And the gold is really a vibe, I think. So you know what? I like it. I'll do it.
It's cute. I also, like, not to play White Knight or anything, I think I would get really bored and really sick of only mounts. So I do like how some years we get like the full shebang and mounts and glamour, and some years it's just like, hey, here's an accessory. And I think it kind of makes us appreciate, at least for me, it makes me appreciate when we do get the bigger items a little bit more. So I like having a variety.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few hundred mounts to the point where I've had to favorite some to come up with a smaller roulette, so I see the ones I actually like more often. The last thing I really need is more, but I mean, that's the nature, right? We're always gonna want it. We're always gonna want it.
We don't shiny thing.
Exactly.
Need it. Shiny.
We don't need it. Yeah, so that's pretty much the only event coming up in game other than April 22nd. Am I even getting that? I think I pulled that date out of nowhere, but April 22nd.
It's right.
Okay,
it's right. April 22nd.
Is the next patch the Cosmic Exploration patch?
I'm excited because that is actually the day that I fly back home from being out of state for my sister's wedding. So I have the day off of work, and I should get home earlier than I would if I were going to work. So it's probably going to end up being in Cosmic Exploration afternoon.
Nice.
Right off the tarmac. Just straight into
there you go, just straight home. I've got a date with my desk. We gotta do some, yeah. No, I am really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be obviously the next big thing, and I can't wait to maybe get sick. Maybe that's my ultimate goal. Like, you didn't hear it here, but like maybe I'm going to have to take a few days off work to recover.
Unless you're Debbie's work, and then no, she actually is going to get sick. She is a fortune teller, future seer.
There you go. I anticipate that I am feeling that I might get sick. Okay.
My goldfish may be on fire that day. I'm just not sure yet, but getting the vibes.
Other than that, Lodestone doesn't really have a lot. There's some sort of crystalline conflict thing happening, isn't there?
Yeah, so Crystalline Conflict North America Community Cup. So it seems just like wow, words are escaping me today. Like a bracket event. I think people had to sign up and actually kind of get accepted into the Community Cup. It looks like quarterfinals and semifinals and finals are coming up. So the 18th, Friday, April 18th, there is going to be the quarterfinals, and then Saturday the 19th will go into semifinals and finals. It looks like it is a Twitch event. I don't know if they're going to be on YouTube, but at least on Twitch. And Aya, I believe, or Aya, is going to be the host, and then commentators, some familiar faces, Brian Ricardo and Frosty. So excited to I don't watch a lot of like the PvP stuff, but I do watch PvP here and there quite a bit on Brian Ricardo's channel, so it's kind of nice to see them being like pillars of the community coming in to commentate the cup.
I do enjoy watching Crystalline Conflict tournaments. I'm terrible at it. And I couldn't like annotate or give a play-by-play to save my life. So I'm glad these people are doing that. But I like watching all of the little people do their attack things and some team win. And listen, I enjoy it the same way I enjoy sports. I don't know what's going on, but I love being part of it, you know?
They kicked the ball. Oh wait, somebody else kicked the ball. Exciting.
There you go. Yay, sports team. Go.
Sports ball. Woo, good job.
Pretty much the only other thing on is some merch is for sale. Well, for pre-order.
All the goodies that, yeah, I think it was all these pretty much Yoshi P and Foxclon showed off at the last PLL, right?
Yeah. So if you haven't got your pre-order in, you honestly, of course, I would buy all of it if I had an unlimited amount of money and space, but I don't. So all I can do is look at the pretty pictures and go, yeah, maybe one day.
That's where I'm at too, where it's like, I want a lot of things, but that is not more or less than my typical want, which is like I would have at least one of everything in this online store if I had the funds to do so.
Right. Yeah. So for those of you who may or may not have a lot of money and or free space for Final Fantasy XIV merch, there's your opportunity. And also, if you ever want to get rid of it, let me know. Because there is no like thrift store in my area that happens to carry it. So there you go.
I will say I've had luck, and this is not a sponsor, obviously. Buyer beware. But there's this website called Mercari, and it's kind of like an eBay. And I have had luck, and also on eBay, I've had luck getting like secondhand Final Fantasy things for pretty good prices. Like even my Namazu plushie.
Oh, right there. Yeah.
That I got for maybe like $20 on eBay, which I feel like wasn't bad, considering it was like a Japan claw game exclusive too. So like I couldn't even get it over here ordinarily.
Claw game?
Yeah, like over there, the crane games.
Yeah.
Claw machine. Yeah, it was one of those.
It must have been a big one.
Yeah, it's huge. It's bigger. It's like whoop. And then I've won things from the claw games before over there too, and also eBay. I got the fat chocobo head years ago before they brought them back, and they accidentally sent me 2 instead of 1. So sometimes you get really good things secondhand. So.
Listen, you're just really lucky. You're really lucky.
That too. That as well.
So that's kind of it for the news. We're all just kind of in a holding pattern now, waiting for the next patch, and it's kind of been silent on the socials. The contests and stuff have ended, so we're just We're just chilling. We're just vibing until
cosmic exploration in a couple weeks.
There you go. What are we not talking about? Listen, I thought we would not be talking about more controversy with the world race for Savage. But instead we're not talking about that. Unironically, of course. You understand. It seemed to go off without a hitch, right? I have heard nothing but positive things. No drama, no accusations, no no hate. Like, what's going on?
Maybe I'm cautious. I feel like the moment we're like, hey, this sounds good, tomorrow there's gonna be like drama everywhere. But no, I feel like it was a super quiet world first race this time around. So like even hearing who won, like I heard like hours later, I was like, oh, that's cool. And Eorzea won, which doesn't surprise me. They're typically in the top 5 at least, if not winners almost every time.
Yeah, just crazy. And this is a photo you said that was shared on socials from the winning team.
Yes, so Eorzea, they, as pretty much mostly everybody who partook in the world first race, they've been requested to kind of like stream, and Eorzea has at least 1 or 2, like their 9th and 10th man that will be in Discord, be watching everything and helping make strats in real time. And so this is one of the bench people that are kind of one of the masterminds behind helping with the strats. So it was a little bit of the behind the scenes. You can see they're like 3+ monitor setup plus laptop plus whiteboard with all of their like plotting in real time, which I thought was pretty fun seeing this the mastermind behind the chaos.
Just crazy. But I mean, look at how organized the room is. Like, if someone on a North American team were to share an equal photo, come on, I very much doubt. Even if someone took a picture of my desk right now, right? It would not
be. This rectangular window is the only thing that looks good in this room. There's a reason why it zoomed in.
So, yeah. I can maybe pull up the top 10 here. Did anyone watch it? You didn't watch any of it, did you?
I didn't, sadly, this time, and a big reason for that was just because of real life commitments. But my husband watched it. I know some of my friends watched it, so it seemed like people were going through it pretty, like, even like looking at the time frames, it seems on par. Like, I don't think it took any more or less time than I would have expected it to take, truthfully. And like, as somebody who does keep up with like a good chunk of the world first races, there are a lot of common names on here. Like Eorzea is one of them, DN's another, Neverland, Kindred, Allison Abyssos lately, like pretty much everybody there. I'm like, yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. Just, I would have liked to see everyone take on the Savage dancing green. I might go back and check some of those VODs because it's just a crazy thing to watch.
The song's been in my head for like 2 weeks now, so now I'm into it. I can say, as somebody who did M5S last week and cleared M5S, it was a good one to start out with. I think that was such a nice one to get the community into, so.
Is that the only one you've cleared so far for Savage, or?
Yep.
Yep. How crazy is it?
It's honestly a pretty low barrier fight, I would say, for Savage. And from what I can see, because I've tried not to like spoil, like I don't watch mechanics. I try not to watch like guides and strats before going into the fight. I like trying it out fresh. This was like, oh, this is fun, and this is kind of like low barrier to entry. I don't think any of the other ones will be the same. I think this is like the, here you go, here's a nice appetizer, then they're just gonna like sucker punch you. So,
yeah, no, as someone who did all of the normal ones today just to make sure I got my weapon and my armor, yeah, the first one looks the craziest, but really isn't. It's like the third and fourth one. Well, the third one where I really fall apart, right?
Yeah.
So, but looking at them, the energy, the music, the visuals, the stages, like the backgrounds, the fun little mini games and mechanics in these fights. I can't say enough how just beautiful they are. Like, they're a work of art.
I will say, and I know this kind of gets out of the not talking about it into our main topic today, I will say, like, they brought the fun of Alexander raids with a more cohesive, like, theme for me. Like, my husband and I talk about it all the time because we've been raiding together for, since Alexander. And I think Alexander did this, like, really leaned into, like, the goofy and the fun, but it was kind of, like, wacky goofy, like, haha, goblins! And I think the difference with Arcadian is it's got this wrestling overtone, which you get right away, but then every fight just has this, like, unique flavor that kind of still lives under this umbrella of, like, you could see this on WWE. Absolutely. Like, all these things, like, could live in this universe, and it makes it even more fun for me.
Yeah. I think the moment that got me is in that first fight where you step into the spotlight and you have a, like, mini dance number, and if you like get all the frogs right, you get, like, the splash up onto the screen. Yeah. There is no other game out there, no other MMO out there that's doing this. Like, this is a Final Fantasy XIV exclusive experience. And even the people who were most vocal about not liking 7.0 have quieted down because they see this. You can't not see this and think they're doing amazing things over at Squeenix. As much as you might complain about the overall story, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but they are doing some amazing things.
Oh, absolutely. Like, this raid tier is like no exception. And there's just something, like, even I might say that M5S it might not be my favorite Savage fight. Like, I have different reasons and, like, qualifiers for what makes it, like, the best what makes my favorite the best Savage fight. But this might be one of my favorites just for, like, how fun it is. Because it's, like, literally, even our group wiped, like, we had, like, a good, like, hour plus where, like, you're just not in the groove, like, people are messing up to mechanics, and, like, normally there'd be some frustration and, like, okay, this is getting a little tense, but, like, you can't be mad in that fight. You listen to the music, you see yourself stop and, like, do the, like, disco moves. You can't be mad. You see the little camera drones in the background that have bow ties and little vests, like suit vests. How can you be mad at this fight? Like, I don't think I've been mad for a second in that fight, just because of how much fun it is. And it's just, it keeps me very hopeful for a lot of the content going forward too.
Yeah, no, I just can't say enough. So we might as well, like, stop unironically not talking about it and actually talk about it as our hot topic here. 7.2. Just right? So there are going to be spoilers for MSQ and a bunch of things that have come out. So if you haven't finished this patch, maybe bookmark this video and come back to it when you can, because we're just going to let it all out here. We're going to talk about 7.2 in its entirety in a way we didn't last week out of respect. So, Pyra, all inclusive of everything. What's your feeling on the patch? Maybe what's your favorite part of it? Give me a spiel.
Oof. That is so tough because, like, I am such a sucker of raids, but, like, I don't know, the MSQ really got me invested again. Like, this whole Sphene storyline, well, now it's, like, Sphene, but now we're going into, I forget his name. It feels like Fandaniel Part 2.
Right.
Like, I'm honestly just, like, super invested in this part of the story and, like, where it's taking off. And I'm glad that they kind of, like, left us at this cliffhanger. So, like, that really got me invested and interested and, like, super hyped. And then also the raids, like I said, like, I don't know how much fun I've had in raiding in such a long time. Like, I always have fun. I always love it. But just, like, fun for the sake of fun, like, this raid series is starting to feel that for me, where it's like, these fights are just, they're also fun for their complexity, but, like, for the sake of fun. Like, it's a good patch.
No, it absolutely. So, I mean, we can talk about the MSQ more in depth in just a moment, but it definitely feels again like it's building into something. It has the vibe back. It has the pacing back. It's introducing characters with a story that we actually want to hear about. I mean, yeah, I can agree with people how a lot of Wuklimat's story we didn't ask for and were kind of handed. But now it's kind of feeling like, okay, well, tell us more about this character. Tell us more about why this happened. Tell us more about what it's building up to, because now I'm interested. Now we're tying it back to the Scions. We're tying it back to what Eorzea did with the piggy. We're bringing more of Final Fantasy back into it, and it's feeling alive and vibrant again. And the raids, just amazing fun. Watching your character groove, amazing fun. The Unreal, I really enjoyed. I haven't cleared. I got enraged 3 times the first week, so I was really hoping to get it today. Didn't quite get into a party, but it's super close. I know it is. And the dungeon. The dungeon was a good feeling one. The gear is good feeling. The glams for the expansion. Like, I am really enjoying this. And as controversial as it sounds, like, I haven't felt this way about an expansion since Stormblood. And what I mean is, Shadowbringers and Endwalker were absolutely amazing. But the draw of those expansions was almost exclusively the story. Like, yeah, they had other things. They introduced variant dungeons and that sort of thing, but I wasn't as excited about what could be next as I am now, because the sky's the limit. They're throwing in things, quality of life upgrades that they haven't previously announced. And so I'm almost feeling like we could expect anything over the next 2 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jogging. I'm living for the jogging.
Me too. The amount of times I'm in PvP and I'm like, I don't have to just stop to mount. Just keep running and press your mount button and you get on that mount. Oh god. So nice.
Yeah. So I am obviously really enjoying it. MSQ, I spoke a little bit about it. Do you have anything more to say on that?
I think some of the things with the MSQ too that I've really loved is the 7.1 MSQ, when we kind of like see like, oh, Sphene's back, or is she? Like, I was kind of scared a little bit, for lack of a better term. Like, it did. I after 7.0 and seeing like the whole thing of like the themes of accepting death. Like, at least what I took from a lot of, like, the Dawntrail-based MSQ, you know, accepting loss, accepting death, accepting grief. And then when we saw this, like, Sphene come back, I was like, are we going against everything that we just, like, metaphorically and, like, story-wise, like, just put out there? But then, like, seeing 7.2 and, like, how this is shaping, it's like, oh, okay, like, this is still feeling genuine to the story, but also, like, taking this, like, nice, interesting twist and turn that I've really loved seeing with this. Like you said, I do love how we're kind of getting back to some of the Scions. We're starting to, like, really, like, find the roots again. And one thing that I'm, like, curious if it'll be a consistent thing going forward is, like, Wuklamot was with us, but not as much in the forefront in 7.2. So I wonder, I do speculate a little bit how much of that was planned from the get-go and how much of that may have been a response to, like, the community's reaction to Wuklamot. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm feeling a lot of things. I'm feeling happy, like, of the direction it's going in, but I'm also feeling, like, a little bit of weariness. Like, were these decisions made a long time ago? Were they kind of, like, rash decisions based on feedback? I don't know if you felt similar or any of those tones.
Yeah, I don't want to make any presumptions, but when it comes to protagonists, they've kind of been hit or miss. We either love them or we hate them. But the one thing this team has consistently done well is villains, antagonists. Yep. And the fact that we're getting a couple of new antagonists who are actually just, we're loving to hate them at this point in time, throws us back into the story. Like, all of a sudden, there are people actively trying to kill our character again, and we're like, whoa, hold up. Like, hold up. What did you just do to me? Like, this is not okay. And they just do such a good job of not only explaining the antagonist's point of view, but also making us want to fight against them actively. Xenos was not great. Okay, listen, I loved Xenos as an antagonist, but he went too far. Like, I supported him up until the point where he stole my body autonomy from me. And there was no going back from that. I could have embraced him as a frenemy, like Emmett Selk, but he went too far.
I see the funny, I think it's funny. I almost have a different take with him. I think in Stormblood, through, like, Shadowbringers, I was like, this whiny little brat is just like, I want whatever. Like, I want you to feel powerful, be my friend, but I also want to kill you. And then, like, in Endwalker, that's the only time where I actually, like, got it a little bit. And it was like, he's still sick and twisted, and he's gross, and I'm glad we got to finish the job. But, like, in I keep mixing them up. Endwalker, that's when I was actually like, okay, I get his villain arc in it. Like, I accept it more than I did just, like, I'm obsessed with you, let me kill you or kill me and then come back and try to kill you again. Like, that, I wasn't for that until, like, Endwalker. I was like, oh, okay, I get this like final tango. Like, we killed, the end of the world has been saved. Let's do this tango. I want to say tango. Let's dance the final dance.
Yeah,
exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about the introduction of a physical enemy, as opposed to, like, they had set up before, like a philosophical enemy. Like, we were fighting against death, we were fighting against a beautiful lie, we were fighting for life, and now we're fighting literally against someone trying to kill us, which is a more tangible, easier to digest enemy.
It's kind of nice too. Like, I'm really glad you said that, because it's you're absolutely right. Dawntrail at its core was a lot more philosophical, and I think I really loved it from a story writing angle of, like, it felt kind of poetic. in like the sense of talking about like, you know, loss and love and death. But like you couldn't be mad at anybody. Like you could and you couldn't. Like, damn you, time, you know, father time and reality. And then now we have this little scrawny face that we want to punch. And it is much easier to visualize this you know, character, because it is in character form. And you're like, ooh, kind of like Fandaniel. When Fandaniel came on the screen in Asahi, I was like, ooh, I just want to punch that kid. But it was good. Like, it was in the way that it should have been, you know? Like, that's good story writing, because you make me hate that.
Right. And I think that's ultimately what we were missing with 7.0, because the villains there, like, one of them didn't get what he deserved. He tried to kill us in the very beginning of the expansion, and we just became friends, I guess. And the other one was practically untouchable. Like, he was beyond our ability to fight with him until the trial, and then it was just done. So we had a lot of pent-up rage and frustration that we're finally able to get out and work through.
Absolutely. I don't know why, but when you were talking about that too, like, you could even say like Sphene, Endless Sphene, I guess, was also like our third like villain, you know, kind of like, but it was on the similar lines as Emmett. And I think that was harder to like hate her, because we kind of did that like a similar song and dance with Emmett Stelk. This whole like, you know, he's doing this, he wants to commit mass genocide before the people he loves and for the truth that he thinks is the truth. And I feel like we kind of had a little bit of that in Dawn Trail, but because it was like this tiny little synopsis of the story, like it didn't feel as like grandiose, I guess. And like we were like, okay, we get where you're coming from, so we're not hating you, but also like you're doing a bad thing, so stop that. And now it's like actually like, ooh, I can just hate this character because they're just like inherently doing a bad thing so far.
Yeah, and 7.0 Sphene, the Endless Sphene, was really inhuman in her mannerisms, in her actions, in her conversations. And so we couldn't connect. And we thought it was bad writing at the time, but now that they're telling us, hey, this person really isn't human and it was a lie the entire time, we're like, well, maybe they knew what they were doing, and it was a poor idea to end the MSQ where they did. Like, maybe if 7.0 ended a little bit further into the MSQ and we got that glimpse of, oh, this is why this character feels hollow and wooden and fabricated, we might have been a bit more lenient towards it, being okay, well, I'm supposed to be feeling this way about this character.
Right. I think it also kind of leads us to what a lot of us have said for a while, especially folks who have, you know, like you and I, who've been here for several expansion cycles, patch cycles, years of the game, which is, it's kind of weird, and like, I don't necessarily use this to defend the story writing team. However, like, Dawn Trail is not just 7.0. which I think a lot of people forget. Like, it's not just the base, this is everything that you can do on week 1 of release, and then, like, that's it. Like, there are these subsequent patches that really hold a lot of weight. Because exactly like you said, I think with the addition of this, like, 7.1 and 7.2 story, that's just making me, like, rethink the way that I thought of Dawn Trail 7.0 story. And like, it does make sense of certain things, which, like, I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, she seemed like wooden or hollow, like Endless Sphene, but like, it totally makes sense now. And instead of like certain things, I was like, well, maybe it could be this, like, actual justifications, like, oh, this, like, if they were planning this from the beginning, which I hope they were, like, this makes absolute sense. And like, I'm glad that they wrote it like that now that I know, you know.
Right. Yeah. And then we have actual Sphene, who gives like Zero vibes or Ardbert vibes. It's another really good person who existed in their own time, who was a hero in their own right, could have potentially been another warrior of light, just is doing everything they can for a real human good. And so we really, as Final Fantasy players, resonate with that sort of other character, because we're like, hey, yeah, that's our warrior of light. Like we vibe with you. You may be a soul buddy. We don't know. Every shard has a soul buddy, and you might be our soul buddy. Like we just don't know. And so we resonate with that person, wanting to know more. Like, is this a potential ASM? Is this, what's going on? So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely a Team Sphene fan. Like I picked on the Sphene back in, 7.0, but it's like it is nice seeing not even just like this new version of reincarnated Sphene, but it's nice seeing like a twist too. Like it's not just the same Sphene that we learned about in 7.0. Like this is really like giving us a different perspective of who this person is / kind of was in their past lives. Like even going into like the dungeon / trial, like hearing about like Zelenia and kind of hearing a little bit about more of this world that we kind of thought we knew about. We were kind of told in 7.0, but like really getting a little bit more of that like authentic part of it was just like so nice in 7.2. Like it's kind of like building a bit more on that world that we, I guess, thought we knew.
Yeah, and wishing things like normal Sphene could have met her other guardian again. I can't remember his name.
Oh, me either. Oh, what's his name?
the cool robot one. Yeah.
The robot. Oh Lord.
That died to save us.
It's gonna bother me. Somebody please type it in the chat, because it's gonna bother me.
But I mean, they had this whole scenario where we wordlessly caught Sphene up with everything that had gone on in all of 7.0 while she was under the effects of tempering. And Otis, thank you, Spiky Potato. Thank you,
hey,
Otis.
Spiky. Hi, Spiky. Yeah, Otis. Yep.
Like I imagine our warrior of light telling her that entire story, and then she finds Zelenia, and then we have to fight Zelenia, and it's kind of a double blow because she's lost both of them. And it just there are nuances that they're not even putting into the story that we imagine. But the 7.0 MSQ, I think they did a really good job of picking and choosing kind of what to highlight on, and a lot more voice. It could have just been my imagination, but I thought they did a lot more voice work in the patch than maybe even they did in the story MSQ.
They definitely leaned into it quite a bit, which for a story like this, I don't think that everything needs voice acting. Of course, I wouldn't be mad if it did have voice acting, because I do really like the connection you get with a voice acted cutscene. However, it I don't know, there's something with these voice acted cutscenes, especially in 7.2, that like I was drawn in. Like I was really like getting invested in the moment, which has just been like super nice. Like even hearing the difference between like the actual Sphene and then this, I don't know what do they call the other Sphene that's not endless, like this duplicate. They had a name for like the I think it started with the S or whatever, like fake Sphene and real Sphene. Like even like the differences in the voice was just so powerful. Like being able to kind of like relate that back to like, obviously this isn't the same person, but kind of is. Like it really fit well.
So, bearing in mind that they're still fleshing out the story, like this is just 7.2. There's still 7.3, 7.4, 7.5 to get through for MSQ. What gaps did they have in the 7.0 story that you would like to see them flesh out more in the next coming expansions? Or the next coming patches, sorry.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, oof. I guess the one on, like, maybe this isn't my full answer, but the answer that I could, like, think off the top of my head, like, the first thing that comes to mind is Galulja. Baby Galulja. He's not a baby. He's the king, technically.
He's a
but,
baby.
Like, where'd he come from? And I don't need the birds and the bees talk. Like, I actually want to know, like, that kind of feels missing to me still. Of, like, who's the mom? And... like, I want to know more about him, and, like, obviously he's a child, so, like, I don't know how many diplomatic plans he has for the future of of his area, but, like, I feel like that's another character arc that we're completely in the dark about a lot of aspects of it, so that's something I'd like to see for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they gave most of that narrative as, like, dungeon dressing. Like, they didn't really go into it. I would like to see maybe some flashbacks, maybe some of the whole Warrior of Light seeing the past sort of thing going on.
Or migraine.
There we go. Because we know who the mom is, and we know she was a scientist, and we know that she had a thing for the king, and but we don't know anything more. We don't know whether there was any actual emotion there at any point. We don't know. Yeah, there's still a lot going on.
Yeah, truthfully, I even forgot about the mom. Because, like, I just felt, it didn't feel, like, you said that, I'm like, oh wait, yeah, we did learn that. But I just feel like they didn't do enough to support his character, and I don't know, like, knowing the side of it that's, like, you know, Zeralja and who he, like, was in that time, that you kind of, like, that weird time with Solution 9 and the difference in whatever, time rift? I don't know what the technical terms are, but, like, seeing some of that, knowing a little bit of slice of, like, Galulja, like, the father of all these people, and then, like, we have this, like, little kid that we kind of have a little bit of a backstory, but not much too. Like, I'd like to see a little corner of that universe more, and just, like, really dive in.
Yeah, or maybe how he met Otis, like how he ended up outside the city.
Yeah.
The other thing I want in another patch is for them to go back and revisit Kryle's story.
Oh.
Now, it's something that we've complained about they glossed over in the 7.0, but maybe they have more MSQ planned later on to come back to it. We don't know how, because obviously that final zone has been transformed. The memories have gone elsewhere, but if they planned to revisit that somehow, there's the possibility to have another better, more comprehensive scene that will make the whole thing prior seem better, you know?
Absolutely. I do feel bad for Kryle. Like, one of the things about the 7.0 story I'll say is, like, I was so excited for Kryle to have her moment. And, like, yeah, Kryle is such a good character. Like, I really want more to Kryle, and, like, we got a little bit of that. I don't think we got... I think she could use some more love in Dawntrail as a whole. And, like, honestly, it makes me tear up, like, the story of her with her parents, and, like, hearing, like, why her parents weren't there, and, you know, what they did to, like, kind of save her. And it's like, I think something else could be used to, like, help support that.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if it came back. I think I'm kind of getting the feeling that a lot of people's complaints about 7.0 are going to end up being resolved. Like, people jumped the gun and were really angry about something, and Yoshi P was in the background going, like, just wait. Just give us a chance. Just get through the story. We explain this. It'll be okay. Like, trust Daddy. Daddy's got it all figured out.
Daddy Yoshi P.
That's exactly. That's kind of the vibe I get is people got really upset, and it turns out in the end, like, it was for no reason. That it was just it was part of the story, and Yoshi played us all, and, you know, it's not that bad. We just needed to trust them and their vision.
Yeah, it's you know, this sounds like a broken record on my soapbox, but like this is ground zero from a major like 10-year story arc, and I don't know if it's a perfect way that they're approaching like how they've rationed out the story over 7.0, 7.1, 7.2. However, like I think they're fighting their cadence and they're seeing what works, what doesn't, how the community's responding. I absolutely think that the majority, if not all of these integral parts of the story were mapped out even before the launch of Dawn Trail. And so I think some of it is that trust, like that candid feedback, but also that trust that like these things hopefully will not be just swept under a rug. Like we're not going to bring up Golulja and never talk about him again. Like that would just be silly, you know, but like hopefully it's kind of piecemealed out through these subsequent patches where it can kind of get like a little bit of life and maybe like some focus time in the future.
Yeah. So I honestly have high hopes. I couldn't be more excited about what's to come. Weigh in, like everyone who's watching. I have a poll up on YouTube right now asking if you think the 7.2 quests are better than the 7.0. Really the only complaint I have still about 7.0 is one, why does my Warrior of Light have to be dumb? Like some of the decisions that were made for you are a little dumb. And I'm like, I get, we've been knocked about so much. We've had multiple head injuries. We have amnesia. I get that we're not great people, but come on, give us some credit.
Dane Bramage.
The second is, of course, we can't get away from talking about Wook when we're talking about 7.0. Just because it's a character we saw potentially way too much of. And in a way that is very different from, say, Grahatia. So Grahatia took a major role in Shadowbringers, but ended up to be a very loved character that people want to see more of. And so we were really excited at the end of the expansion when he joined the team, you know, became part of the Scions, like has been around since. Yeah. Whereas we feel very differently about Wook. Do you want to speculate on why? Like, do you have any ideas there?
I have maybe a hot take. I see Wook closer of a parallel as to Alphino than I do to Graha, and part of the reason is like at the beginning, a lot of people, and I think, do not quote me. My sources need to be cited, but I believe that there was somebody who said once that, if not the Warrior of Light, the main character, the main protagonist would have been Alphino in like the early parts of Final Fantasy as we know it. I saw that a little bit for Wook, and truthfully, when Alphino was introduced into the game, I hated him. I still don't love him necessarily. Like, I don't want to see a world without him. However, he's just the annoying little, kid, and the saving grace for him was Eorzea. Because Eorzea would and can and continues to put him in his place. And it's like, he's kind of like, to me, he's always felt like that annoying little brother that, like, you love and you will defend with all your heart, but also you just want to just, like, flick the back of his ear or something and just like pick on him. That's kind of the vibe I got with Wook a little bit. Like, I love her, but yes, she annoys me, but also like I don't want to not have her around. And so I'm hoping that that's kind of a direction for her if she continues to be part of major storylines, like even post Dawn Trail, is that it's like she becomes this developed part of a character that we know and love despite her quirks. Like that's kind of what I'm hoping and speculating.
No, incredible point there. I agree with that 100%. Like in A Realm Reborn, I hated Alphino. And then kind of into Heaven's Word, you start to feel bad for him. You're like, hey buck up, buddy. Like, I know you made a really big mistake. Things went terribly wrong. You were responsible for so much death and destruction, but it's okay. Things will get better. And then And then into Stormblood, like through Heavensward into Stormblood, you see him find himself. You see him grow up, mature, learn from his mistakes, become more social, and then you start rooting for him. You're like, hey, you came out the other side. This is fantastic. I want to see you succeed. And so if they can do a long arc like that with Wook Lamont, like make it so that at the end of this journey, people are actually rooting for her, wouldn't that be an achievement in storytelling?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm here for characters that are like, maybe it's just kind of my upbringing too, not to like bring it personal, but like I am here for like I don't want to say ugly duckling because she's not ugly. She's a cute little Hrothgar, but like I'm here for the broken characters, like the misfits. I am here for like somebody who is definitely not perfect and kind of giving them the space to have their character development and their arc. So that I can only hope that for a little Wookiee. I know it's Lamati. I call her Wookiee.
Here you go. And that may be that there could be an event in the next couple of patches that really bring her low and humble her. And I would understand seeing that, and I would expect to see that in a journey like this, because I mean, to everyone's point, at the end of the 7.0 quest, she's kind of a Mary Sue Invincible, like breaking the fourth wall into the Warrior of Light's fight and saving the day. So definitely needs to be taken down a peg there.
Absolutely.
Any final thoughts on the MSQ?
I think that's really it. I'm just really curious for where they go from here, honestly. How about you, Debbie?
Yeah, no, just super excited. I am a believer. I want it to be so badly at the end of 7.0 going into 8.0 that everyone is back on board and everyone has eaten their humble pie, and even the most critical of people for the game, content creator wise, have realized, listen, we kind of need to watch what we're saying because we're not the experts. Like the team who is doing it, we have to have trust in. They know what they're doing, and not look so critically at everything, because we may be forced again in the future to eat those words. So that's kind of my hope. A lot of people may call it, copium, but I want to believe. I trust in this story they're telling. I have sat down, my legs are crossed, I am listening, I'm invested. Tell me your story. We talked about raids quite a bit. Quality of life increases. We talked about it last week. Anything over the past week that has really stood out to you as being impressive?
Ooh, I mean, those two have been the biggest for me. Like, the little quality of life improvements that like I keep seeing. The main one is like the mount thing, as small as it is. Just like even in PvP, just the fact that I can like these small like changes have just made it like kind of worthwhile. Another one I thought about too is like even the dual die channel systems. Like I have items that have been gifted to me or I've purchased or friends have purchased that are like actual cash shop items that now you can dual die, which I think it honestly feels like a respect to our money a little bit too, as cheesy and like stretched out as that feels. Like I've paid for these items with my hard-earned cash, and like they're still going into the game and like refining the system and making it better. And I truthfully think that that's like we need more in that direction. And I didn't doubt that they were going to give us those things, but I think it's just like it helped. Besides that, the raid, honestly, I love the raid series. I'm not in love with the last one. MA, I'm like, take it or leave it. But the like in general, the raid series and the story for the raid series too, I've never been as invested in the story as I think I am with this one. It's
the kittens,
really
the kittens.
But like everything and totally like squirrel moment, Koji said a bad word in the song. He says the F word and they bleep him out for like the song. It's just it is so great though. But it's like like they like even with the musical styles, like they're trying so many different things. It's literally all from disco to kind of like hip hop to metal to like 90s anime ballad. Like it's
they've got range. Yeah.
They've got range, and just like it meshes to me with like the whole overarching theme of Dawn Trail, which is like we're just gonna try a lot of really new, fun, and different stuff, and we're gonna see what works. And I think it's working. I truthfully think this is the expansion to experiment, and I think it's paying off.
And we're not even halfway there. With Cosmic Exploration coming out next patch, the exploration zones, the new deep dungeon. I heard something about there being another variant dungeon. Like, there is just so much in this patch that I don't anticipate there really being any downtime between now and when it ends, right? Not with all this exploration and crafting and gathering zones and everything like that. Like, there's no way to really power yourself through it. Like, I can't see everyone getting everything done before the end, and I hope that's the case. Yeah. I honestly hope there isn't enough time for people to complain about there being nothing to do before the end.
Absolutely.
That would be poetic justice. I get that they try to wrap things up early enough so that people can kind of get ready and take a break before the next expansion. So I get it. But honestly, when Boja came out, I was still Bojaing up until the next expansion dropped. So
yeah, I don't see myself like I tried pretty much every single type of content in this game. Like I joke that I like do everything from like casual to ultimate, but I do, like, I try to, like, even if it's stuff that I don't necessarily like I try it at least once or twice. And as somebody who does like a lot of the end game like raiding and like farming and stuff like that, like there's too much for me to do and have a full-time job and have a couple hobbies on the side. Right. Like, there is too much for me to do, but like I say that in the most humble way possible. Like, I'm totally fine with that.
Absolutely. So yeah, final thoughts. We're at that time already. The time flies.
No, it's wild. 7.2 is great. If for some reason you had hesitations or you wanted to wait, there's a lot of stuff to do, so come back. I'm loving it, honestly. I'm really enjoying everything that it's had to offer. And truthfully too, like, we're what, 2 weeks and a day away from the next big major patch of content, so there's not going to be a slowdown for quite a while, and I'm honestly truthfully excited for that.
Yeah. What I saw today was another creator who was going back through the Endwalker MSQ and finding things that we haven't even seen yet. So all of these NPC armor upgrades, all of these graphics updates apply to all of this previous content. And so going through some of those cutscenes, they look amazing compared to what they did when they were released. So even if you're going back and doing older content now, it just looks so much better. So the 7.x series is kind of a gift that keeps on giving. The more of the game you play, the more these quality of life increases kind of make themselves apparent. And the game just looks and sounds amazing. So for anyone who well, why are you watching this if you haven't played? But for anyone who hasn't played, or for anyone who knows people who are thinking of getting into it, this honestly is, and it will always be, the best time to start playing the game. It will always be. The best time to start playing the game is today. The second best time is like, 10 years ago. Where will you be this week, Pyra, if people want to join you?
Yeah, I'll be streaming on Twitch and YouTube as usual. We cleared M5S, my static and I, last week, so we will hopefully get a re-clear pretty early in the week and then move on to more of the new Savage fights. So if you want to come join the chaos as we try our hand at M6S, then you can find me over there.
Might come in and cheer you on. I wanna watch it. I wanna watch it, especially that one. It's a little bit of a pain to play, but
what's his name again? Something Dancing Green. Oh, Riot, Sugar Riot.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's gonna be tough. I'm excited though. Like it's a fun tough, and the mechanics are so goofy. I can't even be mad.
So yeah, I might stop in, take a look. Otherwise, my normal stream schedule is, of course, maps on Fridays, variety on Saturday nights, and regular Final Fantasy XIV streams on Sundays and Monday mornings. And then we're back next Monday evening with more Final Fantasy XIV news. I hope. Oh, I mean, we will be back. I hope there's news.
We'll be here. We'll be here whether you like it or not, and whether there's news or not.
Yeah, I mean, if we have to make something up, we'll make something up. But we will be here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you to everyone who joined us in chat. Thank you for everyone watching now and in the future. And thank you, Pyra, for joining me and having a wonderful conversation.
Thank you, as always, Debbie.
Awesome. I hope everyone has a fantastic evening. Take care. Love yourself as much as you love others. And we'll see you all in game. Bye.